Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Angela. Happy Tuesday, fam bam. Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is where you are. I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Guys, I wanted to come to you really quickly and give you a word that God wanted me to deliver today. As always, please take any word that I give you or any other servant of God gives you back to God in prayer for confirmation, okay? Also, I'm going to continue to encourage that you develop your own intimate relationship with God. He desires you above any and everything else. So make sure you're taking the time to listen for the voice and learning the voice of God for yourselves, okay? Sometimes we can get so caught up with the distractions and the noise that we don't hear the voice of God. So make sure that you're taking the time to sit with God and develop an intimate relationship with God, okay? He desires that, and I'm going to continue to encourage it, all right? Also, guys, not every word is for every person, but this word, I just feel like that we all can take something from it, all right? But if you see me look down, I'm just looking at my notes, okay? But God was stating, guys, that in this season, there will be many releases, but also many gains. Many releases, but also many gains. God was stating, guys, that He is doing a new thing, as we all know, in this season, and many of you are going through a transition. And there are new chapters being birthed, new beginnings being birthed, and in that is uncomfortable because it calls for a letting go. And whether that's a letting go of people, places, things, mindsets, or things even in our hearts that we have in our, different heart, bitterness, unforgiveness, things that are not of God in our hearts. God was stating in this season that you have to let it go. You cannot afford to hold on to anything that has expired in this season. God was stating, guys, that some of you are holding on to things that He's repeatedly asked you to let go. And God has been speaking a lot about this lately. And in this particular word, God was stating that many of you are holding on to situations and people out of loyalty and out of guilt. Again, out of loyalty and out of guilt. You can't allow, if God has asked you to let a situation go, whether it's a person, whether it's whether it's family members, whether it's a job, whatever that situation is, you have to be obedient to the voice of God and let it go. And I know sometimes it can be painful because transition is painful. So I get it. But when you are and I are going through new chapters, new beginnings, most of the time that comes with a cutting away. Most of the time that comes with a letting go process. And God is saying this is the season of releases and gains. But in order to receive those gains, in order to receive what God has for you next, you have to let go. You have to let go. And things, some of you are holding on to people out of loyalty and out of guilt. And that guilt can come from family. That guilt can come from friends. And you're holding on out of loyalty because it's familiar. It can be family members. It can be close friends that we've had for years, but God is stating to let go. And sometimes we can get caught up in the guilt because people tend to throw that guilt trip on you, like, oh, that's not Christian like, or oh, that's not of a Christian, to detach because we're family or because we've been friends for 25 years. That doesn't make you and I less of a Christian because we in that season, because some things we have to let go that is not permanent. It's just for that season, and some things are permanent. And if God is seeing that person or that thing or that mindset is holding up his will in your life, then he's not going to usher anything in. So we can't live to please people. We have to please God. We have to move in the voice of God. God says, put no one above me. That means your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your children. You can't put anything, that job, above God, your family above God. Put no other person above me. God speaks that in his word. So if God sees that you're putting that person or that job, God is not about to do anything new in your life. And God can't move and do what he's trying to do, his will in your life, if you're holding on to something that has expired in this season. You're trying to keep things that are dead and resuscitate it and bring it back to life. And God is saying, no, I'm cutting that away. I'm burning that away from you. I'm pruning this away from you. That person is not good for your future. And God is saying to let go. And you have to let go. God is trying to build new relationships, build new marriages, build new mindsets, build new friendships. God is trying to build new relationships. God is trying to build new businesses. God is trying to build new things. He's trying to bring these new things in this new season. And you and I cannot bring old things into the new season. There's a cutting away, there's a letting go. And as God stated, there's a release of things. So there are things that are being released in this hour that you cannot bring with you in order to gain. So don't get caught up in guilt and loyalty. You've been friends for 25 years. You have to let go. I've experienced that, and I've shared that with you, a year ago. Friends, most of my friends I've known for 15 plus years because we keep our friendships. But when God tells you to let friendships go for whatever his reason is, you have to let it go. And sometimes in your heart, certain relationships, friendships, family relationships, and dynamic, why God causes some people to go out, but you hold on to those relationships because they're familiar, because of your loyalty, because this is somebody that you grew up with. And God is saying, no, in order for me to take you from level to level, glory to glory, you have to let this person go, or you have to let that unforgiveness go, or you have to let that mindset go. God is doing a new thing. And in order for God to do that new thing, we have to sometimes subtract in order for God to add, okay? But God he's just really been speaking loud and more and more and more about the letting go and just holding on. He's just stating that so many of you are holding on to things in your heart, unforgiveness. You're holding on to people are not good for you. You're holding on to family members who are not good for where God is taking you. And some people simply can't go. They simply can't go into that next season. If you go to, he led me to Genesis 12, God stated that the Lord had said to Abram, leave your native country, your relatives, and your father's family, and go to the land that I will show you. He sent Abraham. He didn't send Abraham and Lot. Lot took him. Abraham took Lot. But can you imagine and just wonder if God's will would have been done in Abraham's life if Lot would have continued the journey with him? But even though Abraham, took Lot, God still separated them. Abraham, they chose, they had to get to a point where that Abraham said, okay, let's go our separate ways. You choose which you choose which side of land that you want. You want this side or you want that side. You choose. But God still worked it out for his good. Even though he was still brought somebody with them, God still worked it out for his good, and they still separated. So, sometimes if you don't do it, God will do it. And he'll shake some things up where you have to let it go. So that's why God is saying, hey, look, let this person go. Let this situation go so that I can usher the new in, so that I can give you this promise, bring you this helpmate, place you into this marriage. And I'm not saying, anything about marriages. If God tells you to something about marriages, that's between you and God. But what I'm stating is about family and friendships and whatever else that God is speaking in this hour. Only what God is speaking. Okay, so that's why I tell you, make sure that it's imperative that you and I are in the presence of God like never before, because you have to hear the instructions of God to know what to do in the next season. Okay, so God was just stating, guys, that this is a new chapter, this is a new beginning. And he's trying to do new things, and he's trying to build something new in your life. And we have to let things go. And I know sometimes it's painful, and sometimes it really, really hurts. I get it. I understand. But we just have to move in obedience to God to get the very best that God is trying to do in our lives. And those next levels, often calls for, a cutting away, an elimination, a subtraction. But God is always going to add back. He's going to add back greater. Okay. So guys, that is the word today. God just wanted me to just speak on it, and just know, that doesn't make you less of a Christian or a believer because of detachment, even if it's family. Your loyalty is to God. My loyalty is to God. That's who our loyalty is to first. So don't let anybody make you feel like that's not Christian-like because you detach. But do things in love, though. It's order. You do things in love, and you do things in order. So I'm always gonna, everything is done in a loving way. It's always can be a detachment in love. You always love from a distance. So that is it, guys. I just wanted to just come and give you the word today. You know what I'm going to say. Keep shining. Keep being the light, because you are the light. Keep being kind to one another, loving towards one another, and showing compassion, all right? Don't conform to this world or the wicked agendas of it. You keep walking in unity. Don't allow them to divide us. But let's just keep showing up, loving and caring for one another, and just showing compassion for one another. Okay. Also, guys, thank you so much for, I always like to show my gratitude. Thank you for all the seeds that have been sown into the ministry. You don't have to do it, guys, but you choose to do it. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful. And I just want to say thank you. Okay. And thank you to all the new followers. Thank you to all my old school followers. Thank you to all the existing followers and all the new followers. Welcome. And thank you guys so much for rocking with me. And I just like to sometimes just stop for a minute and just say thank you, and just let you know my heart is full, and just full of gratitude. Okay. So guys, have a great rest of your day today. Have a great evening. Know that God loves you unconditionally, and I love you. And until next time I see you, God willing. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.